Hi everybody, I'm Dave McCann with BYUtv Sports here with junior running back Paul Lasike, also a big member of the rugby team, which has a title match coming up Saturday against California. Welcome.
Thanks.
How was finals?
It was good. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad to be in spring. I start spring school tomorrow, so it's back into the grind, but it's good to have a couple of days off.
A couple of days off to focus on where the rugby team is trying to go against Cal. This is for the Varsity Cup, which is the equivalent of rugby's national championship.
Yeah, it is. We actually pulled out of the Division I, which is the USA Collegiate Sports, and to have our own and have some of the best teams in there to play. So
we were watching you do your work at number 13. What's the difference between rugby and football? A lot of fans will know you as a running back for the Cougars for the football team. What's the difference between the two?
I like the position in rugby is similar to a running back in football. I mean, you're attacking and you have the ball in hand. You're in the backfield just like football, except you're trying to create your own gaps by cutting and things like that. Whereas in football, you have the line there, and then you have a fullback in or a blocker for you, which you're trying to follow. And that can get kind of tricky at times, trying to read the gaps in the defense. So naturally, rugby is more fluent to me, obviously, but football is a lot more technical. There's rules and things you have to follow in order for the play to go through. So,
well, like with Ziggy Ansah, you didn't play any football before you came to BYU. And when did you decide, hey, I'll go try that out too?
Yeah, well, I was actually before my mission in 2009. The rugby team does their strength and conditioning with the football coaches, and Coach Ulmer, who's the head coach of the weight room, basically, he was like, why don't you come and give football a go, see what happens. And so,
they just figured you were a menacing presence?
Yeah, I mean, they saw my size and figured I was a good enough athlete, so they said, come give spring ball a try and see how you do, and they invited me back for fall camp, and that's basically how it started. If
you were a tenacious rugby player, can you just transfer that over to the football field?
I think it depends on position too. As a running back, there's a lot of things that transfer from rugby and football as a running back, and I play center in football and rugby. Yeah. But certain positions, I don't think it's easy just to come over. It's like learning a new language. You got to start baby steps, and that's basically how I started.
How different is it holding on to the rugby ball as opposed to the football?
A lot different. Actually, if I had a rugby ball here, I'd be able to show you, but in rugby, I hold the ball like in my palm and against my wrist.
Because it's a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger, so you're able to do that. But in football, you have to have great ball security. 4 points of pressure is what they call it. So having the ball high and tight, and it's actually pretty difficult to run like that. I've never ran, running like this my whole life, and so it's pretty difficult.
Now, your assignment this summer with football team is to figure out on how to keep the ball in your hands, and you had experience against Utah State last year where you kind of realized that, hey, you know what, this fumbling isn't going to go over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after this year's spring ball, Coach and I came up to me, and he gives all the players things that we should work on in the spring and summer, and that was my biggest thing, was ball security and then getting in fanatical shape.
Early on in that Utah State game, you fumbled on 4th down and 2, and then we didn't see you for a while.
Yeah.
Is that where you learned the ramifications of a fumble in football?
Absolutely. That's where I learned that if you drop the ball, you're going to be sitting for a while, because it's a liability in the end, Everyone's got to hold on to the ball, and you can't do anything if you don't have the ball. So I learned the hard way, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on hard out this spring and summer. It's ball security.
Let's talk about the Cal Bears and beating them. You beat them last time in 2009. Here you went and won the national championship before your mission. What about the rematch here?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a game that I look forward to the most for the rugby season, it's definitely Cal Berkeley. The last time I played them was in 2009. We beat them 22-24, I think we did. And so they're a tough team. It's going to be a tough physical game, but if we're able to execute what we practice and things like that, and just do our assignments as a team, then we'll be able to come off, I'm sure.
You had the opportunity to play professionally in New Zealand, decided to bypass that for a little bit, go on your mission, and then you come to BYU, playing rugby and football. Your life's certainly taken a twist. You going to go back and play rugby when it's all over?
Who knows, you know. I definitely, like, I'm studying exercise wellness. I definitely want to go into the sports realm. I'd love to, it's always been a dream of mine to be a professional athlete or do something in sports. And so if the opportunity arises, I mean, I'll probably end back up in Australia or in New Zealand, and I'll probably try and give it a go, you know.
All right, let's give it a go Saturday and then against Virginia in August.
Yeah, absolutely.
Junior Paul Lasike, best of luck to you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
It's good to see you. Cougars again playing for the national title Saturday, 3 Eastern at South Field. The game will be broadcast live around the world on KSL.com. We'll have a recap with player and coach interviews after the game right here on BYUtv Sports.com.